Hey everyone, this is Jasmine. I'm a Reiki practitioner and also a counselor in training. My Instagram handle is SunPlutoAlchemist, and if you would like to find out more about me or what I do, I'm gonna leave my details below so you can check them out. So today I want to talk about energy exchange. What happened the other day was that I was considering a robot vacuum cleaner, and I realized that I do have credit card points where I can exchange them into vouchers. And so I did, and I went down to the shopping mall to check out how much does that robot vacuum cleaner cost, and I proceed to exchange the right amount of vouchers in order to get a purchase. I went back down, I picked up the robot vacuum cleaner, and for some reason I decided to do a last minute check on the specs of that specific model. So I went to Google, and little did I know, Shopee was actually selling that robot vacuum cleaner for almost $70 cheaper, and I struggled. And at that moment where I actually was planning to make that purchase, I struggled so badly because how I was being conditioned, how I was being taught is that you never fork out additional money for the exact same thing if it actually costs cheaper somewhere else. And I really struggled, you guys. I feel like my body actually went into this freeze mode of unable to make decisions, because after all, if I were to purchase them with my credit card points, technically I actually don't need to fork out any money, but I really struggle. I mean, if I were to think back, how my parents would get me to do is spend money to get that thing off Shopee because it's cheaper, and then use that voucher to get something else. And by the time, what we could be doing is to actually anyhow choose something from that shopping mall, from that departmental store, just because I need to fulfill that condition that I shouldn't fork out anything more. So I was like hyperventilating, and I went into this freeze mode, and I'm unable to make decisions. And then something just popped into my head. I think previously I shared about this channeled message that I got, is that like everything is energy. If you take care of your frequency, if you take care of yourself, whenever you give, you create a void, and you will be receiving something in return. But the thing that you will be receiving in return will be based on the giving, your usual way of giving, and based on that condition. So like for example, if you are a people pleaser, you are constantly giving from a place of lack, you are constantly giving from a place of resistance or an unwillingness, then you will be constantly receiving something that you do not want, you don't actually want. So in this case, I hyperventilate, but that thought popped into my mind, and it was at that moment I realized that the main thing is actually what I truly wanted was a robot vacuum cleaner. And there was this voice telling me to focus less about the price, because if I were to go the usual way, the usual route of how I was being taught, buy it, fork out money and buy it from Shopee because it's cheaper, then use the rest of the voucher, get something that I do not want just because I need to fulfill that expectation, how I'm gonna receive, even though I created that void, is probably gonna base on things that I do not want, but just because it doesn't trigger me, it doesn't trigger my old conditioning, and I'm not getting myself out of that conditioned mindset, that limiting belief. And I was like, no, as uncomfortable as it is, I need to go through this. I know it sounds silly, but yeah, it was probably what I needed at that time. So I decided to go ahead and purchase that robot vacuum cleaner with my vouchers, even though it was $70 more expensive. And what I realized was I actually forgot how much they cost. I don't cherish or appreciate something just because it's really expensive. I cherish or appreciate something just because it brings value into my life. It makes me feel good. And you know, sometimes funnily enough, when I purchase something just because I want to fulfill that limiting belief, I actually probably have more resentment, and I find it harder to love that something. I have to constantly remind myself like, hey, I got it cheap, that's why I should value it. This is expensive, even though I don't really like it. This is limited edition, like even though I don't really like it, I need to really like it because there's like limited quantities around the world, and the list probably goes on. You get what I mean? So yeah, things actually have their own energy, their own vibration, and the things that you own, even though they are inanimate objects, like for example, I don't know, I just have this right in front of me. This is my headphone that I really love a lot. Like things like this, they all have energy, and the things that you own, that you let them into your life, that you decided that they are your stuff, they actually contribute to you, to your collective energy. So they kind of actually set the stage or set the condition whenever you give after creating that void. What are the kind kind of things that you are gonna receive. So I think that it's important to really understand this. Why do you choose to welcome certain things into your life? What is the reason? What is the criteria? And how do you value this stuff? Do you actually truly love it? Does it spark joy? Like what Con Marie said. Yeah, it's definitely gonna contribute to how you're ever gonna receive stuff in the future, energetically speaking. And also, it's very, very worthwhile to go through your things to actually see, do they still spark joy? Do you still want to own them? Or maybe is it time to let them go because they are no longer contributing value into your life, and probably they may spark joy in somebody else's life. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope this is helpful. I hope this may help you to reflect on the things that you own, the things that you choose to receive and keep in your life, and let me know if you have any thoughts. Thank you very much. This is Jasmine. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!